Jawaballs!
Okay, so I've been staring at this model for the past hour, trying to decide what I'm going to do with it. And what I've decided is to just go ahead and glue it. It does have pre-made drilled holes, as you can see there, and little nubs upon which to attach them. So the drilling is already done for the most part. They don't always fit properly in my experience, but I'm gonna just go with it and make it fit. And what I've started doing here is gluing him together. I glued the nose cone and the arm onto the torso, and I glued that arm together. And the reason why I'm going to assemble him before painting is that I originally was going to paint them all blue, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense because he's like 50-50. Like, the blue parts are so minute that I don't even know if airbrushing them would make a difference. He's so small anyway. So I'm just going to hand paint the whole thing. I'm going to assemble him, prime him, and then hand paint. So that's the plan, at least. You know, because I'm going to have to hand paint all the white anyway. So I'm just going to spray him gray and then go from there. So that's the plan. So now that this piece here is drying, and that arm is also curing, I will let it go. The glue I'm using to glue metal is this Loctite Super Glue Ultra Gel Control. Get it at Home Depot or Stop and Shop grocery stores, and it sets pretty fast. The reason why I like it is because it's gel and it doesn't run all over the place, as opposed to this stuff, which is really good glue, but it just oozy and it goes everywhere. So I prefer the Ultra Gel Control. I don't know which actually holds better. I think it would probably be the Super Glue, the Gorilla Glue, but this one is just a better one to work with for modeling purposes. So there you go. This is my Max Sterling Veritech Valkyrie, and more to come. Alright, so let's get some work going on here. I decided to go ahead and just glue him together, and here he is. Oh. Here's the base. I glued the little pedestal on there, and I glued him all together without pinning because I don't have my pinning drill. I don't have the bits I need to drill the little holes. So I'm gonna see how it goes. Most of the connectors, the seams, the joins is what they're called, already had holes big enough and they fit fairly well. So I'm not too worried, except for this arm right here, the shoulder here. The join was not very strong, so I don't suspect that that will last. The first slight jar will probably knock the arm off, in which case I'll pin it once I get my bits. So I'm not too worried about that. My other concern that I had was this thing. This is the pedestal that comes with it, and here is the model, and it goes kind of like this. I don't know how crazy I am about this pose. It's kind of dynamic, but it's kind of I don't know. But I'm gonna probably go with it. And if it becomes a problem, what I'm gonna do is just pin a post right up into his butt here, and kind of stand him straight up like this, maybe at a slight angle, but not so dynamic a pose. But that'll come down the road. For now, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and base coat this thing with some gray primer. So I like Vallejo Model Air. Here it is. Here's the gray primer. I don't have enough experience with the airbrush to deal with all the blending or not blending, but the thinning of the paint, so I can use my GW paints in it. So I like the Vallejo Model Air because it comes pre-mixed and ready to go right out of the pot. So here's my airbrush, and that ports a little bit into there. This is a gravity-fed airbrush. The options are gravity-fed, where you fill the reservoir here, versus having a little cup at the bottom that sucks the paint up and out. This is the preferred method. Now, normally you should be wearing some kind of ventilator when you're doing this. I'm not using mine right now. I'm only going to be spraying a minute amount of paint for just a couple of seconds, and I don't spray very often, so I'm not too concerned about it. If you did a lot of spraying, I would certainly wear a ventilator. The reason why I kind of like using this gray primer is that it provides a thinner coat and a little more control. So versus the heavy spray that comes out of the spray cans. But I'm going to go ahead and spray because the paint is drying. So here it is. Here we go. I may attempt to do some blue while I'm doing this. Let it dry for a quick second before I flip them over. Yeah, the airbrush has a finer paint. It doesn't fill details as much, and the details on this model are not quite as deep as many that you would find on a 40K model. Let's flip him. Do his back. Wait a second, that's a little thick. Odo, turn around, buddy. That's all she wrote for my grade. Let me go get my airbrush cleaner. I'll be back in a second.